When was the last time you made a big mistake? And how did you handle it? Was it easy for you to recover, or did you fill your time and your thoughts with self-doubt and just go crazy about how you don't have any self-worth, and did it impact your confidence? Well, if it impacted your confidence and your self-worth, you're not alone. So many of us struggle, and it often depends on what type of mistake we make. But when we make mistakes, all of us deal with it differently. The one thing that is important is that we're able to recover from mistakes and that we're able to rebuild our confidence and our ability not to make those mistakes again and not let it impact the rest of our world and the things that we do in a way that will create more mistakes. In this episode, we're going to explore how to recover from making a big mistake, how we can silence the self-doubt when we do, and how we become more confident than before by using a process to evaluate it and make sure that we correct the mistake. So we're going to learn actionable strategies that will create a stronger mindset. They're going to help you learn to evaluate the mistake constructively, not just evaluate it, but make it work for you, and how to move forward without a debilitating blow to your confidence. Whether you struggle with what other people think or battle your harsh self-criticism, this episode is going to help empower you to use failures for growth. Welcome to the Crazy Confidence Coach podcast. I'm Heather Edwards, a master certified coach, and I'm here to help you build your confidence. Have you ever wished you had the confidence to ask for that raise you want or apply for that dream job? Have you ever wished you could go for a big, audacious goal, like speaking in front of other people or walking into a room of really important people without being scared to go up to someone and speak to them? Well, you're in the right place. Each week, I'm going to share tips and tricks to help you get more comfortable in your skin, build your self-esteem, and gain unshakable confidence. Don't hide in the shadows anymore. If I can do it, so can you. Grab a pad of paper and your favorite pen, and let's get to it. What is a mistake? Every single day, we have the opportunity to make mistakes. There are a million ways that we can make mistakes, and we can make them at home, at work. We can make them in interactions with friends or family or coworkers. So there are just a plethora of ways that we can get in trouble with mistake making. When we have a problem processing mistakes or we make a big mistake, it matters. So what is a mistake? Let's hear what dictionary.com defines as a mistake. It defines it as an error in action, calculation, opinion, or judgment caused by poor reasoning, carelessness, or insufficient knowledge. What I love about this definition is it's actually leaving room for opinion and judgment, which we all know are what we think of something, or we judge the world based on our own experiences, right? The definition goes on to say that it could be caused by poor reasoning, carelessness, or insufficient knowledge, which all of those, poor reasoning, we all have poor reasoning at times. The carelessness mistake is usually where we can get caught up in a lot of shame or feeling bad about something. But the last one, insufficient knowledge, the fascinating thing about this is insufficient knowledge is we just need to learn more, right? So let's talk about how in the world that we can understand why we make them, where we make them, and how we can get through it. The most difficult part of a mistake is how we interpret the mistake, how you think about it, what your thoughts are about it. Mistakes can leave us feeling a lot of shame, or sometimes we feel blame in the process of a mistake. You can turn on other people when you make a mistake because you have a panic that happens in your brain. It's kind of a bad feeling when you have to blame other people because it pits you against those people. So a mistake can hurt your self-esteem because of your own thoughts, but it can hurt your self-esteem based on what you believe other people think of you, based on what you're thinking of other people that may be involved. And if we don't purposely manage correcting the mistake and what we think about the mistake, we can absolutely damage our self-esteem and how other people perceive us. So how can we intentionally deal with a mistake so that we don't hurt our own confidence, the confidence other people have in us, and our ability to take bold action in the future. How do we just recover from a mistake? Step 1. The most important part is taking full ownership. What do I mean by taking full ownership? Resist the urge to blame other people when you make a mistake or pull in other people when you make a mistake. Resist the urge to hide the mistake or be defensive about the mistake. And for sure, don't fully blame someone else. If you make a mistake, just own up to it. Take full ownership. And when you do this, the great thing about taking full ownership, it allows your brain to go to work to figure out, how can I correct the mistake? You give yourself power in overcoming the mistake. Don't make the mistake of blaming other people, being defensive, and not taking ownership. You will feel so much better if you just raise your hand. I did it. I made the mistake. I'm going to take action to correct it. That brings me to the second step. It's just evaluating the mistake and learning from it. So what went wrong? What can you learn from the mistake? How can you correct the mistake? And then the most important part of all of it is, how can you prevent yourself from making that mistake in the future? Step 3 is simply making it right or correcting it. You need to figure out, can you do it on your own? Will you need assistance? Create a plan to correct it. It may be something simple. You can do it right away without really doing much other than correcting it. Or you may need to figure out a plan and execute a plan to correct the mistake, depending on what it is. Make sure that you communicate what you plan to do to correct the mistake to anyone who's involved or impacted, should say, with the mistake itself. So could it be your boss, your spouse, a friend, a coworker? Make sure that you communicate, one, that you made the mistake and that you're taking ownership of it, and then you have a plan for how to correct it. One thing that is really important is, if you have a mistake that you've made and you've communicated a plan to correct the mistake, oftentimes it also makes sense to share how you plan to, in the future, not make the mistake again. Does that make sense? So maybe at work, it's creating a checklist so you don't miss a step or you don't mess something up again. And it's wonderful when you're able to share how you solve mistakes with other people, because they're learning right along with you how to correct it, how to handle it, and how to move on and move forward. It's actually a great practice to share with other people when you make mistakes, because we're all consistently, every single day, we're learning, not just from ourselves, but from other people too. The next step, step 4, is just simply forgive yourself. Find your self-compassion in this process and let go of the shame that you might have. Pay attention to what thoughts you're having. If you're having thoughts that are ruminating or you're feeling a lot of shame, make sure to write down the thoughts you have. And then what I want you to do is really think about the thoughts that you're having, and are they true? Like, are they based in facts? When you have a mistake, a big mistake, and you make a mistake that other people can see especially, you might be saying to yourself things like, I always make mistakes. I always make a fool of myself. Or I always mess things up, or this is so embarrassing, I'm never going to recover. Notice how we have all-ness statements like always and never. Those things are simply not true. You don't always make mistakes. You don't always mess up. Other people will not necessarily look at the mistake you make and brand you forever as someone who is a mistake maker. Those statements tend to be based in shame and guilt and not very reasonable. So be aware and get to a place where you can actually forgive yourself. The tool that I like to use is writing down my thoughts. If I'm really not letting something go, I write them down and then I look at it. I'm objective with it. If you can't be objective with your own thoughts when you write them down, play a little game and change those thoughts into someone else's thoughts, and imagine yourself hearing someone else tell you those thoughts as if they were their thoughts, not your own, and see if that changes how you feel about it. The other tool I've used before is to act as if I am talking to a 5-year-old. If a 5-year-old is telling you these things, what would you say to them? It's more about getting your mindset in a place where you can actually manage your mindset that will help you in growth and success, not in a mindset of being stuck and shaming yourself and keeping and repeating the things that you do. Because when you tell yourself, I always, I never, magically you keep messing up. So don't go down that road. Number 5, step 5, keep in perspective. Will this matter in 5 years? It may not even matter in a year, a month, or a day. A lot of times when we make a mistake, we ruminate about it, and really and truly, over time, it isn't going to matter. So pay attention. If that is you and you are someone who is making it a huge deal, it's going to be the end of the world, pay attention to that thinking and make sure that you keep it into perspective. Studies show that making mistakes actually create faster learning. So if you're in a position where you want to grow and have more success, look at the mistake as a learning and move on from that. And the greatest lesson in a mistake is how you have the ability and capability of moving on. You learn from it. It's amazing when you can sit back and think, oh, I have made this mistake, but I'll never make that mistake again. You're learning. You're never going to make that mistake again, or at least you won't make it in the same way. Make sure that you also understand that your failure is not you. It isn't who you are. And you get to choose. Are you going to learn and move on, or are you going to stay in it and let it impact you who you are? It does not have to be an identity. It can actually just be a circumstance that you learn from and you move on from. Other things that are important to remember to surviving mistakes in life is that it's really good to have people around you or surround yourself with people that are supportive. So someone you can pick up the phone and go, oh my goodness, you're not going to believe what I did today. And let them be a sounding board and maybe even help you brainstorm ways to create a correction to the mistake, or at least process the mindset that you have or what's going on in your head. Also, what I want you to do is pay attention to all the small wins. Make sure that's part of your daily routine, is that you celebrate small wins and big wins alike, because all those wins that you have will be important when you have a mistake is actually nothing. You've got 20 small and big wins versus one mistake. Do you see that balance will be helpful in your brain? When you have a big mistake, you can realize that, oh, yeah, I have a big mistake, but guess what? I've had all of these really big wins and small wins along the last month, day, or hours even. Thoughts that I will want to leave you with. Make sure that you're using your mistakes as opportunities for growth. Make sure to keep your self-compassion. It is imperative for you to recover and maintain self-assurance and erase that self-doubt that you might have. Confidence actually comes from the actions that you take. And when you take the time to reflect and when you actually use all of that to build more resilience. Confidence doesn't come from sitting and thinking about it. It comes from the actions that you take to correct it and seeing the success behind correcting it. So make sure you, 1, acknowledge the mistake. Make sure that you take full responsibility for it. Then you're going to make sure that you evaluate that mistake. Make sure that you go back and correct it and communicate whatever correction you're going to make so that everybody's on the same page. Step 4 is just forgiving yourself. Make sure to forgive yourself. And then number 5, in keeping it perspective, is it going to matter in the future? Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but either way, just learn from it and make sure that you understand that you are empowered. You have the ability and capability to learn from it, but also come out stronger and learn what you're going to do in the next time if you make a mistake. Surround yourself with really supportive people and then keep celebrating your small wins and big wins. So when you do have a mistake come about, you're not just devastated about it. Have a fantastic day. Don't let those big mistakes crush you. It's okay. We all make mistakes, every single one of us. You can recover from them and you can actually teach others, you can learn yourself, and you can be better for it in the long run. Before you leave, don't forget to drop a rating or review for the show, or better yet, just share it with 3 of your friends that you think would benefit from gaining more confidence. Thank you so much for checking out the show. We come here every single Tuesday sharing tips and tricks for the best confidence that you can muster up. And I have freebies for you at thecrazyconfidencecoach.com. If you'd like to, you can sign up there and they will go directly to your email. And you will also get my lovely newsletter that I put out each month, all about confidence tips and tricks. Have a great week. I'll see you next Tuesday. I love you big.